Good morning, everybody. Keith Hill here, foodtruckhelp.com, the I Love Bacon Truck. You can find us at ilovebacontruck.com. As always, I'm here sitting and drinking my coffee early in the morning and trying my best to come up with content to help everybody out. We've got a couple people that have sent in some emails, and we're going to try to get those phone calls. I'm going to do a phone call with them and try to get those recorded and post those if I can get permission from the other party. And hopefully those will be a learning experience. I have been looking at the stats. We've got our number one city is London in England. So if you're from London, hello. Thanks for listening. And also to the people in New Jersey. New Jersey's been really big. Secaucus, Montclair. So I spent a lot of time this summer in Secaucus, amazing city. So welcome to all those people. London and New Jersey are really coming in strong in the stats. So that's pretty cool. I love it. I'm a little late this morning. Spent a lot of time changing passwords. I got an email or a notification from Credit Karma this morning that there was another breach at a store, and so I had to change a bunch of passwords. So just a reminder, keep your passwords safe. If you're on Apple, use the strong password tool. That's what I went in and replaced my main password with. So now every site I use has a different password. So especially if it's something that has a credit card attached to an account. So that's just a little tip that doesn't have anything to do really with food trucks this morning, but it was on my mind since I had to just spend 2 hours changing passwords. So there you go. Good tip for the morning. Today I want to talk about how we grew our catering business. We had 3 years of food truck sales where, as you've heard me talk about it before, we were kind of treading water, not increasing, not gaining. So after 3 years, I really sat down in December, January, February, and started making the plan for that year or for the upcoming year, and try to figure out ways to introduce new revenue streams and bring in new money. The truck was operating pretty much at maximum efficiency. We were kind of at a point to where we were working as much as we could without hiring a second crew or paying overtime. Now, we weighed out the options of hiring a second crew. Would that work? Would the nighttime business? We're mostly out in the daytime. We do some night events, but not that many. So what we weighed out was, would we be able to keep employees for a second crew with the amount of hours that we had to offer? And we decided we didn't think we could. So basically what we do is get everybody 40 hours on the schedule, and then figure out take it kind of case by case if it's worth paying overtime for another event. So taking all that into consideration, I started looking at ways for new revenue streams and growth. The best thing we came up with was to really start pushing catering. That was something that a part-timer could do, or I could do, or one of us could go do drop-off caterings to office buildings, and weddings don't really count in drop-off catering, but how could we really drive the corporate catering and wedding business? All the way up until the end of 2016, we did zero catering for the most part. In 2017, in the beginning of 2017, we decided to purchase some things that allowed us to do catering, chafing dishes and serving spoons and bowls and, pretty stuff that we could do a wedding with. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say we spent initially about $2,000. So what we did was went out and bought stackable totes with, dolly sets for wheels. And that's pretty much what we have to this day. We have 2 stacks. 1 stack is all chafers, 6 chafers in heavy-duty plastic totes on wheels. And then we have 5 other totes that have all the random bowls and cutting boards and, one for kind of chafing fuel and lighters and napkins and the overall just kind of boxes of stuff you need. So Josh and I spoke about it. I kind of got an idea of what it was going to cost to get it going, and set a goal. So our goal for the first year was, I thought we could possibly do about $20,000 in catering. And then I hope to double it next year, the second year we did it. So $20,000 was the goal for year number one. I've got the numbers pulled up here actually right in front of me. So 2017, our first year, our goal was $20,000. We did about $24,000, a little less than $24,000 that year. And that was all very simple catering. We just marketed on social media, marketed it to our email list. That if you listen to the last podcast of Why Square is still the best POS, basically we had captured all those email addresses and we were able to market to those people. So what happened was we would get good customers that came to the truck that found out we were doing catering, and then they would introduce that to their bosses at their jobs, and that's kind of the way that spread. Year number one was those people were just going in saying, hey, I Love Bacon does catering. We get catering, how many ever times a year, throw them into the rotation. And so that really helped us build that catering business. Year two, we hope to double it. So our goal for year one was $20,000. That was 2017. So we exceeded that goal in 2017. Let's click over to 2018. So we hope to double it, right? So that would be 40,000. So what we did was in 2018, so it was the very end of 2017. We did a wedding for a friend. We talked to them. We gave them a really good deal because we wanted to start building a wedding catering business. So who else to give a deal to than a close friend? So we had a couple friends getting married. We did their wedding. Everybody loved it, did an amazing job. And so that was what we really pushed for to grow our wedding catering business. Now, that was the very end of 2017. So here we roll into 2018 with the hopes of doubling our catering business. At the end of 2018, we had done $74,000 in catering. So we had more than tripled, almost quadrupled our initial year. So let's just call it, for today's sake, let's call it $75,000. So if you look at that, you round that up a little bit. I know it's not true numbers, but say we added the second year almost $100,000 onto our revenue. So that's a completely new revenue stream that we didn't have before 2016, and we really grew that into almost $100,000 a year in income. So step up to 2019, we didn't really set a goal because we knew we were pretty much once again at max capacity as far as the labor that we had available to us. We do have some helpers that go in and help us do weddings and bus tables and things of that nature. And so we're looking at 2019. We've actually gone down a little bit. So we're about $10,000 less in 2019. Now what has happened is one of our best customer actually, who spends more money than anybody throughout the year on catering, they had shifted over a lot to, they wanted to have the truck on site rather than catering set up in their office. So we have, in Square, we have a few locations set up for different things, for the way different things get billed. So we have a catering location, we have a food truck location, and then we have a delivery location, which is all of our DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, et cetera, et cetera. And so we invoice everything to that location so we can keep our delivery and catering and food truck business kind of separate, and we know what we're ringing on each one. So that being said, what happened is one of our best customer who we did catering for about once a week at their office for about 40 or 50 people. So what they decided was they wanted to start having the food truck on site instead. so their employees could get out of the office, come downstairs, go to the truck, and so they rotate food trucks out at that office now. So now those numbers, once again, take into account that was our best catering customer. Those numbers have actually rolled over into the truck location, and so they're not applying to this. So if you want to know the truth, if you want to compare apples to apples, we're actually probably up a little bit since our best customer has now swapped over to truck service. So in 2020, our goal is to grow that again by about 5 to 10%. I know we can't make those big strides, like we did from year 1 to year 2 of catering to where we almost quadrupled. It's just not, I'm not sure that it's even possible without hiring another crew. And that's fine. If we had the business, we would definitely hire people to handle it. So we're going to start figuring out a marketing plan for 2020, and the goal is to really capture a lot more wedding business. Weddings are great. There's, you're looking at feeding two. I would say the smallest one we've done is 100 people. So 100 people, anywhere to 400 people. So when you're talking about that and you consider that, the budget for catering per head, if it's a normal nighttime or lunchtime wedding to where you will be serving full meals, that should be comparable to a decent restaurant. So, your per head cost should be very comparable to taking all those people out to eat a nice dinner at a decent restaurant. So that could very well be a lot more money. So there we go. Goal for 2020, more wedding catering for us. Our corporate catering is great as well, but wedding catering is really where the money's at. Corporate catering is very easy. It takes us about usually in the morning when we're prepping for the truck, we're prepping catering as well. I will take that, deliver it, drop it off. Most of the time for corporate, it's just the wire racks and aluminum disposable pans. So all that stuff gets tossed at the end of the day. Takes me about 30 minutes to get it set up. And if you're going out and it's taking one person 30 minutes to go set it up, and you're clocking another $700 or $800, beautiful. So if you can get into that, grow your catering, and usually takes about another one extra person to kind of make that happen for us. So what we'll do is, like I said, while we're prepping for the truck for lunch that day, we will be prepping catering food as well, packing those into a hot box, take it, drop it off, wash your hands of it. The day is done. You got extra money on the books. So I hope you can look into doing this. I know a lot of times the food truck business seems very overwhelming, and I am lucky that Josh and I have partnered up, and I have somebody capable to work with, that I know is going to handle things and sees things the same way I do. So if you're out there running a truck by yourself without a partner or a competent partner, it's going to be a little tougher, but I think you can do this. I think you could at least add $30,000 or $40,000 more onto your sales a year without really hurting anything. Without costing you a lot more money, and just kind of finding out how to be efficient and get those things done and dropped off. If I'm out of town and we have a catering, those guys will load up the truck a little early. They'll get to the catering spot, drop the catering off, get it set up, ready to go in the truck. They'll deliver it in the truck, and then they will head on out to their lunch gig and kind of double up. But that doesn't happen often, but it is doable. So you get there at 10 a.m. If they're going to eat at 11:30, 11 o'clock, you get there at 10. You're out of there by 10:30. The food stays on the warmers till 11. You get to your gig, and everybody's happy. So there you go, foodtruckhelp.com. Please follow us on Instagram, the I Love Bacon Truck, if this helps you out. That's all I ask in return. As you know, I am trying to grow the sales of our mail order business on Instagram, and I can't include the links to buy things until I get over 10,000 followers. We've been stuck at about 7,800 for a while, so please go and check that out. Also, the Food Truck Help group on Facebook just started. We are trying to get a discussion group in there going so everybody can help each other out. And I'm not the know-it-all. I'm not the expert, but there are a lot of experts out there that know a lot more than I that can give you some information. So Food Truck Help Group on Facebook, foodtruckhelp.com, the I Love Bacon Truck on Instagram. And please follow anything that you can. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Music and SoundCloud as well. You can follow us there. So go out and get the money today, guys. And I hope to see you soon. Talk to you tomorrow morning.